What's up? My name is Chris. Now, this past weekend, I went to Playlist Live in Orlando, Florida, and this was my very first YouTube convention, and I didn't really know what to expect, but I, for some reason, had really high expectations. I have no idea why, but I know a lot of you sadly couldn't go, so I figured I would tell you all about my experience at Playlist Live. Here we go! So on March 20th, Diane and I headed to JFK to board our flight to Orlando, and while we were waiting in the gate, we actually bumped into Jack from That's So Jack, and we basically talked until we boarded our flight, and he was super nice, and it was super casual. We just had like a conversation like I would with a friend, and that was like really cool to start off our trip. So we landed in Orlando, and we were like, yo Jack, we are gonna get a cab to the hotel if you want to join in, and he was like, oh, well, I actually have a shuttle taking us if you guys want to come, and we were like, alright, cool, thanks. And we are walking to this shuttle, and it looks like a super tacky Disney bus, and we're all like, oh haha, like, whatever. And then we walk on behind Jack, and I look, and just like both sides of the bus, and it's like all of these super famous YouTubers, like Connor Franta, Joey Graceffa, Miss Glamorazzi, Jesse from Prank vs. Prank, and I was sweating so hard. We rushed to our seat in the back, and we ended up sitting behind Strawberry 17, aka Megan, and I was just like, what? So that was like a very interesting start to our trip. We were staying in the Buena Vista Suites, which were right next to the Caribe Royale, where the convention was taking place and where all the big YouTubers were staying. And so this bus pulled up to Tower 3, which is exclusively for the invited YouTubers. And we were ushered into the hotel, and Diane and I were just like, needed to get out of here. We were like, we don't deserve to be here. This is very terrifying. We felt like peasants, and so we just booked it out of the hotel. And we're walking through the courtyard where the swimming pool is, and we just casually see like Alfie and Joe Sugg in the hot tub, and we're just like freaking out because we feel super out of place and undeserving of all this. And it was just very weird to be seeing all of these people I'm used to seeing on a computer screen. And I think that was kind of like the biggest thing for me that I like had already noticed. After checking into our huge hotel room, we headed over to the main lobby of the Caribe Royale, and we kind of just chilled, and there were a ton of screaming fangirls, and this kind of like gave me anxiety even though they weren't there for me. It was a very nerve-wracking and anxious kind of thing. I don't know, it gave me a lot of anxiety and panic, and it was a little weird to get used to. Later that night, Diane's friend Rosalie came, and she was also staying in our room with us, and so then we were gonna go chill by the pool, and I actually ran into Kingsley, who somehow remembered me from Twitter, which makes me feel uncomfortable, because I'm like a nobody. And then we also were chilling by the pool, and we see Harley and the gang from Epic Mealtime walk by, and we go up and talk with them for a little bit, and we ended up hanging out with them for like 2 or 3 hours and just having a really good time and talking with them, and they were super nice and really funny. A lot of good times. The next day was business day, and we didn't have a ticket for this, so we kind of just hung around again. We did do early registration to pick up our passes to avoid the lines on Saturday. And if you're going to Playlist or anything, I highly recommend doing early registration. There was nobody in line. Later that day, I had like a hangout or meetup kind of thing for my viewers to come and talk and relax, and I was genuinely afraid no one would show up. I don't know, I don't feel like I'm someone important enough for people to come and like talk with, I don't know. But we actually had a pretty decent turnout, and it was so nice actually like sitting and relaxing in the grass and talking with my viewers and seeing like what they liked, and I don't know, it was just really nice. That night we hung out with the guys from Epic Mealtime again, and they bought a ton of Domino's pizza, which I got so incredibly fat from. And I didn't really film anything from that night, just some things are better left unvlogged or undocumented. But it was so fun. They're honestly just such genuine and funny guys. Today, Playlist had officially begun, and we waited in maybe what felt like the longest line ever just to get inside the convention center, and we didn't really have plans in terms of going to panels and whatnot, but we did have a plan to go to Tyler and Hannah Hart's panel in the morning to support them. Then around 1 p.m. I got to finally meet with Sarah from Big Frame, who I've really only ever talked to via Skype, and it was so nice to finally meet her in person, and we talked about playlists and other things, and she mentioned that she was going to be heading over to the main stage to surprise Tyler for his birthday. As we were leaving, she pulls this huge cheesecake out of her fridge, and since she was pregnant, I was like, do you want help with that? And she was like, yeah, like if you could, that'd be great. And so the next thing I know, I'm being golf carted over to backstage and into the green room, and she asked Sawyer if he was going to carry it on stage, and he was like, no, I'm filming this. And so she was like, Chris, can you? And I was like, yeah, sure, totally, absolutely. So I was freaking out because obviously it's the main stage of Play This Live. So we got backstage, and my cue to light the candles was Corey asking, is Troy real? And then our cue to enter the stage was, hey, Troy, did you get Tyler anything for his birthday? And that was our cue. And a million things are running through my head. 1, I'm carrying like a 17-pound cake. 2, there's fire on the cake. 3, there's curtains. 4, there's stairs to get up onto the stage. I just picture myself tripping, lighting the curtains on fire, and just everything awful that could have possibly happened happening. Eventually I got on stage with Sawyer and Sarah, and we joined Corey, Tyler, and Troy, and we sang Happy Birthday, and it was a lot of fun.
Ah, wait, I didn't even see the cake. I will eat this backstage and I'll think of each and every one of you.
Afterwards, we headed back to the green room where I kind of chilled and met a couple of people, and it's actually really funny. A lot of you were apparently watching the live stream and were tweeting and being like, oh my god, Chris, like carry that cake! And that kind of support was really cool to see. And eventually we went back to the hotel to chill before the Camp Dakota like preview thing. The Camp Dakota like preview panel thing was a ton of fun, and about like halfway through the Q&A, Mamrie actually noticed Diane, and was like, Diane, like get your ass up here! And the room was like roaring to see Diane because a lot of them knew her from Grace's Diane cam from the Camp Dakota vlogs, and it was just so cool to see like the love and the excitement the 3 of them still had for Diane. I don't know, it was like a very sweet moment, and Diane was up there talking for like 3 minutes and whatnot, and it was like a very exciting day. Since we all were so tired and sleep deprived, we decided to call it an early night after dinner at the hotel, which was very interesting because we were all so loopy and delirious and like literally crying of laughter over really stupid stuff. This was our last full day in Orlando, and we waited in another huge line to get into the convention center, and we kind of knew today wasn't going to be as exciting as really any other day because of obvious reasons. We did end up watching Tyler interview all the British YouTubers on the main stage as well as O2L, and I literally questioned if I was going to have hearing after that because the shrieks kind of matched what I imagine a One Direction concert being like. It was kind of insane. We decided that we were kind of still somehow tired and didn't really want to be around all these people, so we decided to head to the pool to chill in one of the grassy areas by the pool, and my good buddy Jack Dodge walked up and we were talking, and he noticed I was wearing a red bracelet, or a red wristband, and he was like, oh, you have a wristband for the VIP party tonight that I guess a ton of the big YouTubers are going to and were invited to. And I was like, huh? And he kind of told me about the party and whatnot, and so later that night I walked to the party and I get in, and I literally have never felt so awkward and alone because everybody was talking with their big YouTube friends, and I was like, ha ha ha. And I actually saw Byron, who also works at Big Frame, and I talked with him a lot because it was nice to see a face to an email. While we were talking, a woman came up who actually helped organize playlists, and we were talking for a long time. We talked about playlists and YouTube and all of that, and it made me really happy to have something like Big Frame that made me feel like I was a part of like a little YouTube family. The woman actually helped me get 2 bracelets for Diane and Rosalie, which was super kind of her. And so they came in and it was just like a blast. We bumped into Jack again from That's So Jack, and we took some selfies with him, and then I bumped into Ben Brown, who was super nice to talk to because the last time I saw him I think I was in London. And of course I saw my good buddy Tyler, and that was really nice because I got to finally say thank you for all he's done for me, and to wish him a happy birthday, and just like see him and talk a little because he was so busy all weekend, killing the YouTube game. I also met Troy, who was super kind and super friendly, and I also talked a little bit with Louise, aka Sprinkle of Glitter, and I just have the most admiration for her because of how humble and kind and just I don't know, there's something about her. I couldn't help but look around the room sometimes during the night and realize that I was in a room with everybody that I watch, and it made me realize that, I mean, I have no idea what the future holds, and that I could maybe even be friends with some of these people by the time next year rolls around, and that was like very weird to me. It was very surreal. But like, don't worry, I definitely did my fair share of internal fangirling, especially like when Zoella walked by. Today was the day that we went home back to New York, and while I was so tired and exhausted, I couldn't help but feel just so thankful and happy. I got to meet so many of you guys who watch my videos, and it was cool to actually see a face be put to a number. You know, you always see the number and you're like, oh yeah, like those aren't real people, and then you actually see the people and they're like, I love your videos, or you're really funny, you make my day sometimes, and that kind of thing just made me feel so grateful for this whole kind of experience. I also got to see a lot of my friends again, which was nice, and I also met new friends, and I was told that since I am with Big Frame, I supposedly get invited to like all of these kind of things now, which is nuts, and it got me excited to kind of work harder and made me more motivated to make better content and whatnot. And so after this, I'm so excited to kind of go to more of these things where I can hopefully meet more of you guys and just get re-inspired again, you know? This kind of thing like really reminded me of like why I started doing this, was to entertain people, and because I loved making videos, and to see that kind of paying off is, I don't know, it's just, I want to say thank you. I truly appreciate and genuinely thank you for like all the support. I don't know, it was just something about this weekend gave me all the feels. Now, I did daily vlog every day from this trip, and that can be found on my second channel, which the links are down below, along with all of my social media, which I encourage you to follow. And all the links for everybody that you've seen in this video will be down below as well. I cannot wait for Playlist Tri-State and possibly VidCon, who knows. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you got to feel like you were there with me at Playlist. And yeah, again, thank you so much for this opportunity. I just can't thank you enough. Yeah, I hope you liked this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!